Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about quadratic regression in Microsoft Excel. As you can see here, I have a very small table where my input values are the days and then the output values are the amount of money that I have in my banking account. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create a scatter plot of this data. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of my cells that have data in them. Then I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to go to the tab that says Insert. And then you should see something here that says Recommended Charts. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. I'm not seeing a scatter plot on this list of recommended charts, so I'm going to go over here to where it says All Charts, click on that. Then on the left-hand side, you can see an option that has the word Scatter in parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And notice that this has two sets of scatter plots, one in orange and one in blue. I don't want that option. I want this one where it just has this one set of scatter plots. And I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And now I have a visual representation of my data here. In order to do a quadratic regression, I'm going to right click on one of these data points and then scroll down to the option that says Add Trend Line. So I click Add Trend Line, and we should get this little window here that pops up on the right-hand side. Now you'll see that there are several different options for the types of regression that we might do. You could potentially do a linear or an exponential, but in this particular video, we are looking to do a quadratic regression. Now you might notice on this list of options, there's no word that says quadratic, but that's because a quadratic falls under a broader class of functions called a polynomial. So what we want to do is we want to click this option that says polynomial, and then notice a parabola appears on my screen. And so as long as this option here is selected at 2, then we have a quadratic regression. If you increase this number from 2 to 3, then we have something called a cubic regression, but that's not what we want. So you want to make sure that it's specifically selected on the value of 2, and that gives us our parabola. And then I can go ahead and click these two boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and click Display Equation on Chart. And then I also want to see my Pearson correlation coefficient, which is another way of saying the R squared value. So I'm going to go ahead and add both of those in, and I'm just going to increase the size of this because it's a little bit hard to read. So I just wanted to make that text bigger. And so I have my equation here. Notice that this is a quadratic function in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, and then below that we have an r squared value. Now here our r squared value is not very good. It's 0.6476, and the closer it is to 1, that tells us that we have a better model for our data. And as you can see visually, this parabola here is not very close to all of my data points, and so this is an indicator that this is not that great of a model to model the data that we're looking at here. I hope this helps with quadratic regression.